Welcome everyone. Welcome guys, good morning. Good afternoon, good evening fellas, good morning for all of us. What a beautiful time on Wednesday. Ready to get started on our live stream. Welcome guys. Good morning everyone. How are you doing, fellas? How do you enjoy your day? What's happening in the markets? Is it gonna be a bullish day back above the daily opening right there, 555? Or simply, we will just chop around between 300s up to the 700s, form a range. Morning everyone. How you doing guys? How do you enjoy? Let's share our live stream with our community members on Discord. We're live. Oops. That's not basically... That's not the link. Let me just quickly grab my link of the stream. Let's go guys. We do have our Ticktick community, but at the same time we have our own community of trading on the Discord. Really possible, especially today we had non-farm employment change that came out 77,000 considering the forecast of 141,000. So that is half than what has been expected, which is something very interesting to discover. How does the market will react to this? 15-minute indicates us a possibility of continuing, and guess where? We do have an interesting spot here of reaction. So anything in that wick, right, this is a place of possible reactions. Between 300s and 400s in that wick during 15 minutes, right? If you want to see it more accurately on the micro side, you definitely want to get into the lower time frames. Morning everyone. How do you enjoy? How are you today, guys? How do you feel today? How do you enjoy today? Smash that like button, fellas, for our live stream, getting more and more popular. About to take care of the 250k account, but at the same time of the 150k as well. Very interesting spot here. Possible trading for a micro, but still, we're gonna wait. 15-minute do not looks good at all as of now. Do not looks good to long it. Good job, guys. Good job. It's just a beautiful springtime out here. I'm currently based in Budapest, in Hungary, the center of Europe. So we do enjoy the whole thing. And live streaming on usually 2 hours of trading. Trading our Ticktick Trader instant funding accounts. 35% discount, by the way, at checkout. For those of you that are interested, the link is in the description area with a coupon code mentioned. Yeah. A flush would be needed here. Usually this is what the markets request. We also have the ISM services PMI today. Tomorrow is going to be very interesting with the unemployment claims. Very interesting with that. One-minute reactions as well. Morning, everyone. Relaxing time, relaxing day chat. We're going to take things slowly and simply adjust without excluding the possibility to trade even on pre-openings. Usually the volatility is giving you a level of comfort, which is something that I prefer and I enjoy. That's a flat opening on the 15 minute, which is most of the time a strong bearish signal. Could be nicely test out a short here on this 150k account. 3 micros, not a big
Order
deal.
filled.
We're testing out a short here. Just to get the numbers feeling around. Three micros right here on Nasdaq. A quick short, a quick scalp. Looking forward to seeing the space reacting. There's a lot of the room here in between these two lines. Grabbing more and more out of the wick we established back in the day. That's definitely something. Yesterday we did close very powerful, especially with Trump's speech that we had. It was considered by the markets strong, sufficiently strong, so the reactions were accordingly with that. That was a 600 points movement yesterday, guys. That was, look at that. A nice triple bottom structure with an engulfing at the end, taking the whole thing basically to a massive rally. There's been a lot of the people that kept reshorting the structures and they suffered big time. Look at that. 730. When you don't have chopping going around, then the overextensions on Nasdaq are very powerful. What's happening here? We're going to add 2 more contracts.
Order filled.
Sitting on 5. 5 micros out here. New Mexico, USA. Morning, buddy. Hope you have a great time. Hope you have a beautiful day. 20 minutes to go till the opening. So we are going to relax and enjoy. Let's have a look into the other time frames as well. Four hours needs rejection. If you want this to be bullish. But I guess we just came down to 20,000s, which is very healthy, guys, especially in the way we reacted. And this is kind of another possibility here to see the markets on heavy buying pressure at a time you revisit levels close to 20,000, right? So that's not going to be a joke. It's going to be heavily bought up. What's happening here on the 1 minute? I don't like that, so if we break the top, I am out. Morning chat, have a good day, have a good time out here. We are going to smash it today. Obviously, we're playing it very tight. This is a trade on 5 micros. Not much about a number itself. 167 would be the loss. I'm gonna accept that if needed, of course, and just simply move forward. There's a lot to work around. Usually I deal with numbers that are close to $1,000 on this 150k account. So slightly above that or a little bit below. So on this account, we're not trading for numbers, you know, around $100, $200, $300 a day. We do trade for numbers that are higher than that. We got to achieve 5% on 150k. So you have to make 7,500. I'm not in a position to earn $200 daily for weeks and get to that 7,500. Interesting spot here for the markets to at least retest some of the levels here. No take profit for the moment. Because we could nicely have a flush. Morning chat. Have a good day, fellas. 1 point. And the stop loss is getting triggered. Definitely not an issue with this one. Sits around my stop loss, just like it sits around the take profit when you definitely want that number. Yesterday in the first 2 trades, we were, you know, quite close to the take profit. And it has not been achieved. But then afterwards, we did suffer, right? I'm sure you guys remember. Yeah, the 250k yesterday has been traded nicely, achieving the target and putting together a number above the main balance around $1,000. Not a big stuff, of course, considering you gotta make your 5% for the payout threshold, which means 12,500. But still, it is enjoyable. This is where we are in the 4 hours. We're going to quickly look into the other assets as well. NVIDIA. NVIDIA is having a pre-market slightly above. Nice divergence possibilities here for NVIDIA. I'm sure if we look into the indicators, there is a form of divergence appearing. Usually all these times when they're just slightly grabbing the low and then pushing back aggressively, just like they did it here on 31st of January and then in early February, right? Slightly taking the low. Look at that. You had your previous low. You're just taking and pushing basically to the top. So right now we could have a very similar pattern, slightly taking the low and then pushing to the top. In terms of the top, obviously you got this resistance that you need to keep in consideration, and by breaking above this, a very strong possibility to cross 153. That was a hell of a double top structure we had over there. And then some correction stepped in, but this is temporary. 2025 is correcting for NVIDIA so far. Yet the volatility is quite insane, so I would not be ashamed. What's happening here? Good, we got out. Good, we got out, and good stuff. We are micromanaging these things. Gold did pump nicely, and of course it wants to hold. Probably if the markets are representing the pressure we're expecting, then look at the S&P and the way it closed yesterday. That's quite of a pressure, guys. Look at that. What you're doing here in the last 30 minutes, you kind of dipped a lot, almost 100 points. With the wick included, you did dip 100 points. $14 minutes to go. An interesting spot here, basically, to give it a shot for a short.
Order filled.
5 micros. We are gonna deal with this one. Good trading, everyone. Good trading, good day, good morning, chat. Hope you enjoy and have a great time. There is 14 minutes to go till the market opens, and we're testing the waters right now. That could be an interesting spot to revisit. And if you want a higher low, you can do it over there on 412, 410. I'll take that $400 all day long. Good trading. Good morning, everyone. It's going to be an interesting day, considering the non-farm employment change. 77 is the actual size, comparing it to the forecast. That's a massive, massive difference out there. So it depends how does the market categorizes this and what does it fears. We will see today's movement. Although I'm not that convinced about the whole movement today to be that bearish, we do have some nice possibilities here for a higher low towards the 20,001 established, or you have the other scenario as well for a revisit of your 20,000s, and that is obviously brutal if you get in a bias of possible bullishness. You're gonna suffer a lot with that one. Definitely not suggesting it. Interesting buying pressure so far. That is not significantly powerful. It hasn't been in the last few minutes. 10 minutes to go for our opening. This would be an interesting candle to reject and continue basically to my target. Nvidia holds the line and takes things a little bit higher. BTC today looks great, fellas. In the last, 12 hours, 16 hours, we just pumped. We actually have here a decent higher low. So Bitcoin is in a very good shape, close to be above 90 grand again. And another very important thing, what everyone needs to pretty much know about, Bitcoin is going to have their White House Crypto Summit on Friday. And that is the time we might get announcements around a strategic investment, which has been set so far, but we're looking forward in a different official form. And that could happen on Friday, as well other things in terms of 0% tax gains for crypto that you're holding at least a year. This is just rumors, of course, but at the same time, we are very, very happy to hear about that a bullish scenario would actually bring a breakout out of this whole downtrending environment we've been dealing with. And then you just basically want to push for a retest of the all-time high. What's happening here? To me, it's clear. I'm not gonna risk here at all. I'm gonna put my stop losses on profit as well. Break even over there. And let my position exist. 9 minutes to go. So obviously before the market opening, you would like to get to your target, because this is what allows you to actually escape that volatility that you cannot play so tight. If the first movement is not yours, then the volatility that happens, it's pretty much a stop loss. You cannot play tight at all during the opening. It's just that, you know, noise can easily wipe you out. We're gonna partially get out here. I'm gonna sell
Order
3 contracts. Sorry, I should have bought 3 contracts, right? Now I added more to my position, so I sold basically. Now I'm gonna fully exit.
Order filled.
I did a mistake on that one. I'm gonna fully exit. I did make some profit. About 120 bucks profit. And we are fine right now with all the scenarios before the market opens. There is about 7 minutes to go, guys. Smash that like button, subscribe for those of you that enjoy, and this is going to be an interesting time here. An interesting time with the possibilities. Once 4 hour closes above 559, we're running basically to the 21,000 top. What does it mean? It means the following. So you get the closing above this structure, the blue line that I just made, that keeps basically everything right now with a rejection above. As you can see, whatever we're trying to do above that one has been fully rejected with a wick. 559, 560s is the confirmed price action. An interesting point. A breakout above that and a closing of 4 hour would indicate the movement with strength. So it would just try to grab the other top as well and retest the 21,000. Indeed, there's levels that are dangerous below that, and that comes from prior structures. That's right. No surprise, you've been rejecting with all the breakout situations that you did wanted to print. So this is where Nasdaq is located. Daily is, just like I said yesterday, sitting in a place where volatility will be accepted and no closing of the daily below the previous wick is needed. So whatever movement happens in that wick of the candle is not dangerous for the bull's possibility of recovering, because the buying pressure can easily step in even in the last 2 hours before the market closes and reject the whole thing, just like we have seen so far. Sorry, guys. There is a beautiful trend here that we have to establish. 5 minutes before the opening, there is a beautiful trending line, and that is very, very well respected. Two levels that we'll care about. The opens are sitting like that. 555 is my opening for the day. Good morning, buddy. How are you enjoying, guys? How do you feel today? Looks like another beautiful day, and looks like a decent opportunity here to break out of this little downtrending channel, which is respected so far nicely, especially with all the touches accurately the bears are reacting. But there is so much room here for the breakout, which is why keeping an eye on the opening is crucial. We're down $51 for today. We did trade it on a 170 loss, and then we had a 120 profit. So that's where we are. And of course, for those of you that came in late, we did have today the non-farm employment change coming out at 77,000 with the forecast almost double on 141k. Surprising. Why do traders care about this? Well, job creation is an important leading indicator of consumer spending, which accounts for a majority of overall economic activity. When it comes down to great numbers or terrible numbers in terms of the way these statistics are coming out, it also depends how does the market needs those numbers in terms of fears economic weakness or it fears inflation. These are two total different things that are fundamentally attached as a norm. So above the forecast could easily generate you a bullish movement in a specific environment, but in a different environment where the market fears a total different thing above the forecast could give you a strong bearish move. That's why trading is obviously impossible to considering a simple activity. There's tons of things, tons of details that matter, and these things are continuously changing. So we are in a so dynamic space that requires so much from us as traders in terms of resources, where we have a pretty big edge of failing, right? Look at that. That's a strong rejection on the 1 minute because there is 2 minutes to go for the opening. You know, the rejections and the market sentiment before the market opens with a minute or two, especially on the shorter time frames, is definitely not valuable. It's a lot of the noise. So do not try to base your judgments on the last candlesticks before the market opens. That whole thing could be easily denied when it opens. So it's like those candles are not representing a meaningful value. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Have a great time, fellas. Good evening for some of you out there. We are right here preparing 30 seconds to go till the bell rings. And we're going to have fun with that. Interesting day today with some of the dollars down already, but still a lot to go. We have to achieve the target. Usually the maximum target is around $1,500. 5 seconds, 4 seconds to go, guys, and the market is opening. Here we are with the opening bell. There you go. Let's find out more what happens. Opening bell right there. There's not much going on, of course. A bit of a selling pressure, but a 400 could nicely react. 380 could hold. So an opportunity comes in here.
Order
We're gonna
filled.
go 3 contracts, 3 micros long. Play the tight stop loss and try to work around it. There's a nice possibility here to flush through the things, and of course this resistance line breakout is gonna look nice. That's a beautiful move so far. If we come back to the same levels, I'm gonna add some more. I'm
Order
gonna add
filled.
some more. We got 6 contracts here. You know, that nice breakout possibility around 460s is what attracts me. Make sure to enjoy your day, chat, and have a good time around it. Time to react over here as well. We're gonna add 2 more contracts and of course go around it quite tight. 2 more
Order
contracts.
filled.
DCAing on 388. Beautiful reaction. Nice, come on. Let's go. Let's go for the breakout of this trend. That's a nice downtrending line with a possibility of confirming a breakout above that. You could be nicely going towards the daily opening on 555. That's where you got your daily opening. That's where you have a strong flat candle that is bothering. But the pressure is active, fellas, so that's definitely not to underestimate. Good morning, guys. Good morning to all of you. Good morning, chat. Hope you have a very productive day. This is looking interesting so far, of course. If it wants to push lower and lower, we are going to have a partial exit. As soon as the numbers are going ugly. Yeah, I still have to leave time for this. Usually the first 5 minutes are non-stop nonsense noise. So we have to respect that. Hope you enjoy your time. And you give us that trending line breakout. Could get that trending line breakout from here, or it could simply get back into the lows of the previous wick from where things have really started to the upside. As the markets yesterday were nicely bouncing. You could get back, retest that wick, and then force for a breakout. So it depends. What do we fear? The breakout out of this one would be amazing, and of course the continuation is needed with a possibility of retest. If they want to take this to the upside, retest, and then push, you need to close above the 200 EMA as soon as possible to, you know, take this one in a nice uptrend. What's happening here, folks? $200 to the upside. But there is volatility, right? So gotta take things slowly. I don't want to see that 1 minute closing like that. I don't want to see that.
Order
We
filled.
sold 4 contracts at this level. Let's have a look if it goes for a liquidity sweep. If this 5 minute reacts with a rejection. Interesting spot here for a reaction of the bulls. Two more
Order
contracts. We have DCA'd into this one. Sitting on 6 micros right now. There is so much divergence going around this level, and the breakout of the trending line is so close. Obviously, this whole space here is a nice level of bullish reaction. We just need that specific patterns to appear. I'll take that all day long, of course. Come on, you just touched the wick. Now, let's go for a nice double wick. Markets might be fearing as well China reaction on the tariffs. So that's not really a confident approach towards playing the bulls today. We're not going to marry to a such scenario of just trying to hold on to the bulls today. If it's not the case, it's not the case. We're going to deal with the shorts if needed. Let's find out more. This 5 minute candle is very important. Very, very important. I need a wick. I'm gonna be happy with a wick, because then I can nicely play an invalidation point. Good pressure so far. If this one ends like this on the 5 minute, that's a good invalidation point, guys. No surprise that before the candle closes, the buying pressure appeared in the last 30 seconds of the candle. Beautiful reaction so far. Come on. Time to move. Not gonna add to this position. I would add into this position here. It would be too high for me. And I have a sufficient size so far, so that looks great. Let me tell you something, it's also very easy to play the break-even story on this trade. Because, as you can see, we are in a long from a pretty high point. But the V-shaped recovery is not appearing for no reason. No. This 5-minute candle that we have needs a decent closing. I mean, if it engulfs the previous one, we do have a very, very strong probability and possibility for a breakout out of this trending line. Simply, I do not need more than that specific profit. 1,892 minus the loss we have sits around $1,500, which is great for consistency. Not needing more. This is a leader account, which is running on a copy trading with the other, right? So we have a leader and we have a follower account. 2 150K and 1 250K. This is what we're trading. Ticktick Trader is the platform, Project X in the way you see it. And of course, the link is in the description area for signing up with a coupon code SCRAMBLE. You get maximum discount on instant funding, 35%, fellas. We're going to talk about that a little later. So far, on the 5-minute, it holds nicely, and it would be very dumb for me to get out. But also very risky to play the break-even scenario. Why? Because of this. Simply. And why is this a possibility? Well, take a look at that low. Take a look at this lows here. This is a place that could be nicely retested from where the markets could bounce. And that would be exactly on my entry. So that means I'm gonna pretty much exclude myself for a possible good trade at a support level. Hope you enjoyed today's stream, guys. Make sure to smash that like button and of course subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not familiar so far. We're streaming from Monday to Friday, 30 minutes before the market opens, and a lot of education and trading discussion. Beautiful candle, guys. As long as you close above 414 because of the previous red candle starting and you drop me an engulfing, I'm gonna be happy with that. Although the target is another 100 points. So any selling pressure here in the next candle, if it appears, if it's bullish, it has to be very strongly bought back. Very strongly, because this is, you know, looking like a possible bottom with a so nice possibility of a breakout. This is a trending line that a lot of the people is going to recognize and trade. So this is going to be comfortable, I guess, for me to hold on the trade and deal with it. Beautiful time so far. Look at that. Look at that. 1 minute. They want to make this ugly. They want to make this ugly. I'd love to have a bigger size here. I'd love to grab some more than just 6 micros. Might be able to scoop some numbers here. One second, 2 seconds. We got the closing above the previous one, so that was an engulfing right there. Any pressure that comes here should face a buying pressure. As a look at that. I'm gonna add 3 more contracts. We're sitting on 9 contracts. I don't need that much of a profit. Gotta decrease my targets down to 509. So I assume a decent breakout here out of this downtrending channel that we have established. 509 sits around the 200 EMA level as well. Right, that's exactly where it is. Look at that. which if it wants to reject, I am pretty much out at a decent level with the max target at that one. That's gonna be a lot of enjoyment. Look at that, guys. It's exactly what I told you earlier. If you play the break even, you're risking to escape from the profits. Of course, the trending line could reject you again and take you down into the whole structure. Let's have a look into what's happening for NVIDIA. NVIDIA wants to hold a space here with all those pressure coming in. Pressure comes in from 115 for NVIDIA. BTC is dealing with some crazy volatility as expected here, $1,000 up and down. A lot of the noise, and the US dollar is just suffering. Gold is the one that has been reacting very nicely on a V-shape. Look at the Nasdaq, folks. We're waiting for another wick here on the candle. That's some powerful sell-off. Most likely unexpected from me. But there's so much room to generate a wick. And take things above the green opening. 375. It's an interesting possibility here for a higher low. A really interesting possibility here for a higher low. If it's a higher low, it's worth to DCA. If it's not, it's going to hurt me a lot on the numbers. So considering we're down on 377, realize there's no DCA gonna. No. We're just waiting. We're just waiting, chat. We're just waiting, and we have to enjoy the moment. This is the most important part. Volatility is strong, and the markets want to face a form of undecided behavior at this point. That wick is very deep, guys. 314. So they could do this, right? They could nicely do that and play with us. We had a so decent opportunity with the engulfing on the green candle to push. Finally, force the breakout, and even if it fails, it's just, force the movement above and close your candle below if you don't want to be bullish, right? But still, the bears are powerful in the way this whole thing is organized. Let's have a look into this 5-minute candle. How interesting is this gonna be? And the 15-minute. Look at that 15-minute reaction. You just cannot say it doesn't want to hold. You don't want to say that, chat. Let me ask you a question in the pool, guys. Let me do a pool here on the chat. I'm writing it right now. Are we going to hold the 300s? Yes or no? Let me know, guys, what do you think about? Are we gonna hold the 300s that we have here? Hey, buddy, welcome. $300s that we quickly established at this point. That specific previous wick of the 15 minute. Are we gonna hold on to that? What do you guys think about? Golden pocket on the 300s, 1 hour. That's an interesting mark. Look at that beautiful reaction so far. 2 candles like that on 15 minutes, all representing a nice tradable invalidation structures. %55% so far says we are not gonna hold on 300s. Let us know, chat, what do you think about? Also, smash that like button if you enjoy. We are pretty much trading on Ticktick Trader prop firm. For those of you that are interested, I've dropped you the link, chat. Scramble coupon code at checkout gives you 35%, which is the max available. And this is totally instant funding. So what's happening? PMI came in positive to USD. Heavy resistance on 440s. That's right. 250s, 300s. We could do a fake out before that, but again, this looks quite ugly for me to hold on to this position, guys. I'm gonna
order filled.
Decrease my position a little bit. I've sold 3 contracts. You know what? I guess, and I think this is gonna go down. So I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna get out here, fully
order
get out.
filled.
And grab an interesting short from here. Any little move to the upside, I'm gonna short this.
Order
there you
filled.
go. Any little movement to the upside, I'm gonna short this. Looks like an interesting spot to break below the 300s. A very interesting spot. So,
order
another
filled.
5 contracts, 5 micros. We're sitting on 10 micros right now. If we go a little bit higher, we're going to add some more. And sit on this short for a nice possibility of the breakdown. 275, 276. Three more
order
contracts. We have 13 micros. And we are out.
Order filled.
We're out. Beautiful. That was a good trade. We recovered something. Good trade. We recovered something. We recovered around... Let's have a look into the performance stats. Oh, I guess I do remember about a dollar side. We were down by 1,700, I guess so. So we recovered around 1,200. I did need it to secure that. Yeah, PMI comes in very, very soon, fellas. And that might move the markets a little bit. What we had today is non-farm employment change on 77, comparing to the forecast 141. That was a massive difference. So we also have today ISM services PMI in 2 minutes. That might move the markets a little bit. Careful, guys, on your trading. Sorry, folks. Interesting trade. I did needed that. 1,200. We were down too much for today, but this is a little more comfort for me. And let me tell you something. The levels we're dealing here will just keep pressure this trending line. I would also like to see and share with you the mean reversion channel. We're dealing basically with strong support appearing at that level. If that confirms, I cannot be in a short, right? So if that confirms, I don't want to be against such confirmation. A minute to go, fellas, and the candle looks interesting, right? So it's good we exited at that level. It's good we've been taking the profit. Fireworks. We don't have fireworks with that trade, and let me tell you why, John. It's because I am not sitting in profit. I am not sitting in profit. I had an ugly position earlier that generated a substantial loss, so a partial recovery is great, but let me tell you something. We gotta keep the fireworks for the great moments, for the greatest moments. Let's put it that way. Hope you have a great time, fellas, and enjoy your beautiful week. 15 seconds, 13, 12 seconds to go. PMI is gonna come out very, very soon. Expected around 52.5. Again, depends what does the market wants to see, what fears, or simply weakness or inflation. They are quickly going to be announced. 53.5 above the expected number, guys. Let's have a look into the markets. Look at that. Look at that. Now it is time with any movement to the downside. To try and relong this. Look at that, guys, with a PMI coming out strongly, very strongly above the expected. The markets enjoy that. So we gotta relax, get into the 5 minutes and see for bullish opportunity. Look at that. Being in a short, not taking profits at the levels we were, would have really hurt me. Would have really hurt me in a tremendous way. Yeah. 56% mentioned that 300s will hold. That's exactly what we got so far. So any 1 minute candle to the downside might be an interesting solution to go long. Of course, CFTC rule 4.41, you gotta be careful and responsible for your trades. This is an educational and entertainment live show. That's an interesting rejection here, guys. I am so tempted to long this. I am so tempted to long this. And this is crazy. I am so tempted to long this. 300's holding for the moment. So tempted to go in along here.
Order filled.
And that's exactly what I'm doing. If the market comes back and denies the whole thing, I am nicely out. That's why I'm trading micros. Not to get painful numbers. We're also trying to do a bit of a DCA here to micros.
Order filled.
We didn't have that bearish of a news, 53.5, much higher than the forecast of 52.5, guys. So the markets did consider that bullish from the reaction we had. That was a pump of 160 points. Look at that. Are we capable of breaking the top, breaking the high? It's kind of clear there is a high here around 460, 65. Kind of clear to me. So, retracement and market continuation. Playing with the liquidity on the highly leveraged fellas. Come on. Taking trailings, and then you just go. This 15-minute candle is not bothering me to see that rejection on the top. I definitely need the next one to break out. We got that trending line, which so far is respecting its job. Seven contracts here. Still fine with that. Look at a nice move so far, guys. We didn't have that type of a pump and dump. We didn't have that one, which is what people fear. No pump and dump so far. No pump and dump on the PMI services, higher than expected, which seems like the market is enjoying. Ten seconds to go for this 15-minute. Closing decently. Closed around 445. So right before the breakout. If you don't break out right now and you give me a dirty rat candle, I have to forget about longs. If that happens, but it seems like to trying to push above. Let me also work around the target here, guys. This is the maximum $2,000, and I'm going to tell you why. Because of the consistency. Right, so 559, that's more than 100 points from here. What's the new rules on TT traders? Well, there is no rules that are new. Microscoping has been active. It has been a type of rule published from the beginning. So it's not about anything new. It's just that a lot of the people underestimated the microscoping side, which means before the market opens with 5 minutes, And during the first 5 minutes of the market opening, so there is 10 minutes, you must hold your position with minimum 10 seconds. Micro scalping below 10 seconds is not allowed. If you don't play 5 ticks, take profits type of trading and all sorts of strategies that are representing extremely close take profits, 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, anything like that, if you don't play those games, then you're safe about it. So minimum 10 seconds to hold on your position in the before the market opens with 5 minutes and once the market opens with 5 minutes, right? So there's 10 minutes right there to do that. And of course, before the market closes with 5 minutes, you also have the 10 seconds to be respected. A possible breakout here, guys. I gotta share with you on the 5 minute. This is how the chart looks like. We are just needing to deal with a 200 EMA. And that 200 EMA is below my target. So my target is requesting a breakout of this 200 EMA. Isn't that too much? Well, we are going to discover if it's too much based on the 1 minute reactions that we're gonna get here. If I long it here, if I add more to my position, means that I'm gonna long resistance and I'm gonna add in the market top. Because that would actually expect the breakout to be confirmed. 1 minute to go. I want to see that breakout. It's not yet confirmed, guys. This whole green body of the candlesticks can be denied even in the last 3 seconds. So if you finish for the day, Kevin, you always finish before I finish. What's wrong with you? Pay yourself and bring in the fireworks. I'd love to do that, buddy. But just like I said in my previous streams, if you don't risk, you don't drink champagne. I could take a partial profit at this level, of course, a possible resistance, but let me just work around this 5 minute candle closing. We got 30 seconds to go. Let me just see what are we doing in this one. Do we print an ugly rejection here? Because then I'm not gonna be happy in a long, of course. So the breakout here becomes possibly too subjective, and that's not enjoyable. Look at that. That's too much of rejection, right? I'm gonna sell partially here, guys.
Order filled.
We sold 3 contracts. Have to do this, and I fully
Order
exit
filled.
at this level, guys. Yep. No, I don't know what's gonna happen there, and I'm gonna be happy about, you know, securing the profits. Let me just put those fireworks. There you go. We've recovered something, right? We were down by 1,700. Now we are down by $23. That's enjoyable. And this plays right here with the resistance possibility. And me being down is not the best deal to sit in a trade like that. Good job, Kevin. A beautiful trap would be to take us back to this level, right, to the body of those candles, and then react towards the breakout. Because now, think about it, chat. You're so close for a breakout here. Towards the upside. Comparing to losing 300s. You're in a much better situation, a much better edge, a much better shape to do that breakout to the upside. We're actually speaking about two possibilities here of breakouts, 450s and 300s. Sorry, guys. Your consistency is great, buddy. Doing a great job, Kevin. And I wish you the best. 17.62. Respecting the consistency is definitely not the biggest deal. You just have to cut your profits. That's what you have to do. Look at that, guys. This is a nice invalidation point here. And it would be really stupid for me not to work around it. Look at that. We're back in a long 5 contracts, 5 micros. That's a nice invalidation point there, guys. Which is why I got into the trade. And already doing nice. Right, so it's time to do the breakout. Beautiful closing on that. I'm going to add some more to this specific spot.
Order
3 more
filled.
contracts. Sitting on 8 micros. Come on. Time to deliver. You're breaking below that. I'm out. I'm going to manually get out if we're breaking below. Simply... Two more
Order
contracts to
filled.
the upside, another DCA. Sitting on 10 micros right now. None of this 1 minute candles wants to continue, guys. Look at that, how ugly. None of this 1 minute candles. They don't want to continue. Obviously we have
Order
strong, look at
filled.
that. We've been touched. We've been touched. And we've been hit. Give me another invalidation point here. I would gladly take a long. Look at that. That 5 minute candle closing do represent a rejection indeed on the trending line. But it's
Order
weak.
filled.
I'm back in a long. I'm definitely back in a long, and I would like to enforce this position.
Order filled.
8 contracts. Interesting spot here. Possible liquidity sweep only. Let's go for it. Break above 450s, and I'm going to add a little more to this one. Are you ready to hold and protect this 400s? That's what we're trading, the 400s. Two more
Order
contracts.
filled.
$400s do have a form of reaction so far, so I am kind of happy with that. Services PMI came in positive, came in above the forecast, and the reaction was strong. So that reaction So far is looking interesting, guys. Look at a 5 minute. Indeed, there is a form of rejection appearing already on that resistance line breakout, but still, you're near to the breakout, so you're not at a level to underestimate your chance. I'm a trader taking my shots, you already know that. Make sure to smash that like button, fellas, for those of you that enjoy our materials, and consider subscribing. This is not looking that beautiful. 378, give me that candle. You want to hold on to that.
Order filled.
DCA, 2 contracts. We're gonna be out soon if this becomes ugly. So we're seeing in 12 micros. Not a small size at all, considering the volatility we have here. Nice room towards 440s, which is still not a breakout, but there is nice room to that level. Beautiful minute closing, beautiful. Yeah, the delay is basically how the live streams work on YouTube. That's how delays are working, guys. That's how live streams are working for YouTube. This is how it's set up. About 30 seconds delay, probably around that one. I don't like this so far with this 1 minute in the way we establish. Come on. Give me the rejection again. This is a nice spot, considering we also reacted at this level before. 380s, 385, 390s. Last minute here. For this 5 minute, you gotta deliver. Are you gonna deny the whole PMI candle we did? That would be massive. $30 seconds to go for this one. Not much coming in from the bulls on that candle. On that closing, not much coming in. So I don't want to see weakness in this one, because then I have to get out pretty quickly. If I see weakness on this 5 minute, I gotta get out. What's happening with the Nvidia? Nvidia is trying to hold around this level. Look at the weakness, guys. Look at the weakness. Nvidia is at a risk of getting back to 114, and then obviously Nasdaq is going to retest the 300s. What's happening with a BTC? BTC is dumping since the opening. Not much going on at that level. Nah. This is a terrible spot here.
Order
Partially
filled.
getting out. Fully getting out,
Order
fellas.
filled.
3729. What a terrible sell-off. Totally denying that candle. Complete impossibility here. Complete impossibility here to go for a breakout. Might just give us a double bottom. We're out with the 150k accounts. They're gone. Back to the 250k trading. That was a hell of a move from the bears, holding on to the movement. No higher low, no continuations. Everything is just into this channel. With a trend to deliver from the 300s. Right, so another retest of the 300s, another possibility. Yep, it's over with the account. It has been blown. The 150k has been blown. 250k is the one that remained. And look at that nice reaction, fellas. Look at that nice 5-minute reaction. We've been just wiped out. In a very ugly way. "15-minute looks great. Has a nice invalidation with the wick that we did. Right, so I cannot short it here. I cannot engage in a such short. But you see, my previous long didn't play it out. The size was a little bit aggressive. A little too much. Moving out of micros into the minis. We're speaking about a 250k, which needs numbers. We lost 4 150k accounts. Part of the business, that's not the subject, of course. Part of the business, part of something that is fully transparent and risky in the way I trade. So my sizes are exposing me. You know, if this 15-minute looks like this, the rejection is not sufficient to have this one bullish, right? So it's a minor rejection here of 30, 40 points. 5-minute as well is definitely not the most bullish chart. An interesting spot here to consider.
We're grabbing
Order
a short,
filled.
2 contracts. Aiming for a continuation. Aiming for at least 275 retest. Let's find out more. This is a 250k account. So they're not micros, they're minis. Numbers are bigger. I'm investing in accounts from the earnings I also generate by producing such live streams. There are earnings as well. So if the business is profitable, obviously you don't want to lose accounts, but you have to trade and you need accounts. So that's a necessity, and I see it as a cost to run the business, with a great possibilities as well to achieve payouts. And usually payouts are covering a lot. You pay $400 for an account and you take 3,000 out. You actually take 2,700. That's what? That's like 6 times. Each payout covers 6 accounts. That's kind of the ratio. I don't like that 1 minute in that form. I'd like to see a rejection on that one for sure. Yeah. I day traded micros for the 150k, but I was exposed to 10, 12 micros, which after the openings and during such volatility can be harmful. So you gotta play tight, and playing too tight is also not a good business, right? So if you want to, I don't know, if you want to buy an account and keep it for the whole month just to have a show for trading, then you trade with a single micro or 2 micros, and that's it. You don't cross 2 micros and you keep an account for show and trading, and that's it. But that's definitely not my style, and that's definitely not something that I would enjoy doing. Like, I do want to feel adrenaline. I do want to deal with these numbers. This is what actually generates a level of enjoyment. And of course, it's not just about the resource itself. It is also about the things you enjoy. Interesting spot here in the way we rejected on the minute to reject continuously and, handle those 270s. Obviously, I need to set my take profit LA level, which is not going to cross the maximum target for the day. Right now, the ratio is against me. I'm spending around $3,300 and I'm getting a payout of $2,700. So I'm down by $600 right now. So with a little better ratio, adding an extra payout, that $600 would be covered. An extra payout would give me $2,700. So that would actually turn the whole number into my favor. I would be around $2,100, $2,000. Profit with such ratio, adding an extra payout. No, it's not. Look at a 5 minute. Holds around this level here where it's kind of risky for my short, because this is a place of reaction so far. If we successfully respect the 300s, then obviously I have to cut it off. Let's have a look. How does this little push ends? What kind of rejections do we get? What kind of resell, reshorting are we receiving? Nvidia holds, but with a tendency, with a possibility here to realistically dip below that specific 114. What an ugly stuff here. No.
Order
I'm
filled.
out. I'm out and I'm waiting. I like to see what's going to happen further. I don't want to be fully chopped out. Although I could use the current low as an invalidation point of a long. I could use that. Nvidia did react it interestingly. You could nicely push to the 200 EMA. No continuation. We're just chopping between 500 and 300 so far. So as I was trading today for the continuation, a breakout continuation, and then the possibility to break below continuation, none of that happened so far. Needed to cut the trades quite early. Current 5-minute that we just closed is interesting, guys. Not one of a kind to underestimate. But still, after the pressure we had earlier, this could nicely take the third chance of breaking below. You know, I mean, I would have a spot here to reshort it. I would have a spot here to long. Exactly where resistance is expected, where the bulls are expected. But then, of course, you're expecting for the patterns to play out in converting and not continuing. So the market continuation type of trading is not going to function under such conditions. Reversals will function. I'm trading from Tuesday last week. That's when we started the stream. Yeah, so in case of trading, investing, and having a type of risk management behavior which is exposing to larger numbers, then obviously a conservative approach would sound like is basically a personal desire. So it's not something that I'm not aware about, that if I deal with 7, 8, 10 micros, 12 micros after the opening is not representing a significant level of risk. It's also something you guys can learn. It's also something, if you don't want to deal with those volatility in terms of the dollar side, in terms of the dollar value, obviously you see that in the way it looks and you do not do it. That's the point of this live streams, to learn from them, to learn from actions that you see, discussions that we have, and situations that we're facing. I bought BTC when it was $2,000, and I'm a swing trader of Bitcoin. That's the average of my entry, so that's the main business right there. Swing trading, crypto. Day trading is definitely something that I have not been practicing that much, not been doing that much, and it's something that I've been not doing in the space of crypto. Came into the props to exercise in a more efficient, cost-effective way, but day trading. Definitely enjoying it so far. I don't want to say I am able to burn account, because that's a stupid thing. You're not supposed to be able to, or desire, or to accept even a $10 loss. But as long as I'm collecting informations about my trading, about my practices, and I'm helping community members, like I said, there's also profits by doing this. By doing this live stream. Interesting spot here to consider a short. Honestly. We're touching that resistance. Are we going for the breakout right now? Exactly what I was trading earlier on 150k accounts. This is so ugly, guys. This is so ugly right now here. On 15 minute, it's so ugly to be in a short. We're dealing with that resistance for 6th or 7th time already. So any movement to the downside on short time frame, I'll take the long. I'm gonna go for the breakout here. I'll take my shot for the breakout. I need that breakout. Around the 400s would be interesting. Hope you enjoy the material, guys. Make sure to smash that like button. We are having an interesting live stream with a lot of the learning curve out here. I want to see a squeeze. I do want to see a squeeze since we started our live stream today. I do want to see a squeeze since we were 30 minutes before the opening. We had some great patterns going through the squeeze and it didn't happen. Squeeze is going to happen above the 500s. That's the place you start squeezing nicely. So
Order filled.
I'll grab a contract at this level and I'm going to add another contract if so. Because I do want to trade on 2 contracts specifically for this trade.
Order
One more
filled.
contracts. We're going in, guys. If it wants to chop me out again, I'll take that. I mean, this is what trading is. If you want to reject 6, 7, 8 times at the same level on the same line without squeezing any liquidity from the highs above 500, I'll take that, right? So if the manipulation only happens from the other side and not from this one, it's my bad. Like, how ridiculous would it be to see the whole market back to 300s? Look at this. Beautiful. DCing at this level would actually kill the whole thing. 3 contracts is definitely a lot. Creating a smaller body of the candle here on the 5-minute would be very interesting. I guess that's an interesting reaction on the 1-minute, guys. Look at that. That's a beautiful reaction and a nice invalidation point. Look at that, 1 minute. That's a nice invalidation point to work with. A lot of chop going on, that's right, but still. Sweeping liquidity is what we usually talk about most of the time, and that's how day trading usually enjoys. I guess they built sufficient stop losses about 500s. We need a response to that. "20 seconds to go for this 5-minute candle. It's not ugly at all. It's a comfortable 5-minute candles to be in a long. I do see that the wick is longer than the body of the candle, so it's still a reverse in that selling pressure we had throughout 5-minute. At some point, it's clearly a decent pressure from the bulls coming in. That's how we close around 407. We didn't close that bearish. I mean, it is obviously a place where the trending resistance line appears. Not taking any squeeze above that is a very interesting situation. Nvidia is not looking bad at all. We're decent here. An aggressive approach, guys, would be to add another contract here right now. That would be the aggressive approach. Simply, I'm not going to do it. What's happening with a BTC? BTC is in this little downtrending channel, creating the same structure with a possibility again to go for the breakout. Getting quickly above 89,000 with this breakout, possibly above 90 grand. This is what BTC needs to hold, 90 grand. What else is going on? US dollar just probably is going to range at this level. And look at that 1 minute. A lot of chopping going around. $430s. You got to your target. You got to your target, buddy. On the 430s. That's nice. That's quite of an enjoyment. Good job. For how long are we still going to respect that trending line, not taking the squeeze? For how long is the question. If you play around Nvidia this way, then Nvidia broke out. Because this is a starting point and there is another wick right there, and then there is basically multiple confirmations on that level. So if you play around the such trending line for Nvidia, then Nvidia broke out. Nasdaq is not willing to do it so far. It's a pain so far. No continuation. No, no, no. Just playing around. Give them time to jump in shorts. Give them time and then squeeze them. That's what you gotta do. Give them time and then squeeze them. Otherwise, I'm gonna be out. Because I have to be out. If it's no breakout, no long trading. Look at that. Come on. Another 5-minute rejection here. Last 30 seconds. Wow, what a terrible price action. Have a look into this. I mean, the levels are reacting clearly. 300's holding, downtrending resistance line 440s, 450s are acting resistance, and then we're just chopping between these two levels. 300s, 440, 450. No continuation, no liquidity sweep, no squeezings, nothing so far. Of course, there is a lot of the time before the market closes, but still, so far when things are hot, when a lot of the traders are on board, you don't have any kind of a radical movement. No radical movement, chat. No squeezing. You did had a bunch of shorts coming in here. You can play with them. Bunch of shorts you can play with by dealing with the levels above 500. Pretty bad so far. I'll sell one of the contracts, but still you're in a chop here, so gotta go to the top side. Gotta move that to the top side. No. I'm gonna hold on to my position. If it chops till the end. That's what it does. It chops till the end. So we're going for another session of getting some of the traders chopped out. If it decides to continue, to the downside, I'll take the risks and I'll accept that scenario as well. I'll have to mentally accept that scenario. And of course, that means to economically accept it. What a great level here to DCA. But our size is kind of sufficient. 2 contracts. 1 minute looks nice. 2 contracts already. So no more DCA. At some point DCA is strongly in your disadvantage. Look at that. Keep chopping around. Keep denying your breakouts. Keep fighting around the same levels. I got my fireworks ready. Lots of things to learn today. The number one thing is obviously a usual risk management thing. And that comes in with the numbers. Micros do offer you the chance to micromanage your positions with lots of DCAing, lots of partial exits. But then suddenly you can discover yourself into an overexposed situation because of the micros. Not because of the micros themselves, but because of your decisions, which could be at some point during certain scenarios correct, during other scenarios not function. Chop, chop, chop. Here we are. That's a nice 5-minute, guys. We don't need more than that. We don't need more than that. What we need is a continuation after that. You can close this one like this. And give me the continuation in the next candle. Oh, that's a beautiful action so far. We gotta make 4 grand in this trade, which means exactly 100 points, and that's kind of a lot. $4,000. If I don't add more to this position, which I would love to do, because once again, rejecting here and coming back would be an amazing story. Would be an amazing story. Not going for the liquidity to the top would be wild. So throughout the years, I've seen all these things happening multiple times. That's why no DCA. No. 2 contracts are sufficient. Very tempting, guys. It's very, very tempting to push one more contract here. Very, very tempting, because it's not that dangerous. What minute hold so far? Let's go for another contract here. 3 contracts, guys. I'm gonna partially exit out of one contract a little bit higher. 486 would be my target here for 3 contracts, but that's kind of, you know, 60 points. When you have your resistance so close to you, is not much about happiness. We're gonna discover if their script is working. I'm always gonna take my shot in this case scenario. Clear path, indeed. It's a clear path to 450s. But it's questionable. Like, depends if we get a rejection on the candles above the trending line. That's what I care about, guys. Interesting movement so far. Come on, 440s, get out of that. And you're installed squeezing. 440s will actually allow us to squeeze. If it's an exception, that's fine. Trends for life, if that's an exception, you're fine. If that happens in most of your trades, it's not fine. You should be fine if it's an exception. Because the 5 seconds micro trading is not a hard rule. Like the micro scalping, micro openings. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Just before the candle would actually close. So that you get another movement. You get another painful situation here. Come on. Push this thing back above 400s. You can do that. Push this one above 400s. We're very close to that. What a nice minute candle. What a nice 1 minute candle. We closed on 390s. And then what? And then you're just going down. So you're not gonna take any squeezing above 440s? No squeezing?
Order filled.
Sold the contract. Sold the contract. We missed moving above 440s and we are aggressively going down. Let's see if we find some bullish pressure here. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be out and I'll call this a day simply. So I want to see some 5-minute bullish pressure into this candle, some rejection around this level. I'd like to see the bulls stepping in. It has been a price action respecting basically the patterns. 330s have been respected along with, 330s, yeah, 300s, along with the resistance trending line so far. All of that has been fully respected so far. Look at a beautiful long entry exactly on the resistance that has been respected non-stop. That's a good lesson, guys. That's a very, very good lesson. That would be a very, very good lesson. 5 grand loss would be 2 days of 2,500. 2 days type of recovery model. Possible better days on Thursday and Friday, but still a lot of volatility. Tomorrow we do have unemployment claims. So that's important for the economy. Difficult situation here, guys. I need this 2-minute candle to do something. Two minutes left out of this. Come on. If I exit out of the long here, it is basically an exit in a place where the bulls have been acting throughout the day. It is an exit from a place that I supposed to consider towards longing, right? Just like it was so far throughout the whole day. And that would mean exactly doing the opposite. But if you don't exit, you can get squeezed. There's so much liquidity going around. Nvidia as well is doing the same story. Pretty much the same thing. BTC as well, didn't broke out yet. But it's trying to hold on to the 5-minute 200 EMA. Trying to hold on to that. With a very close, very neat possibility here for the breakout. It's just the ugly situation appears here on Nasdaq. A long story in terms of being profitable with the micros. A long way to learn in a educational curve. Definitely have to deal with lower numbers. Definitely have to deal. This is the number one criteria, guys. This is the number one thing everyone should consider about. Look at that. That's an important 1 minute, right? Because this is usually a place that we have reacted. This is already 5,500 down. This is already a lot. So I'd like to see something here. Otherwise, I have to simply get out of the trade and calling it a day. That's definitely not a comfortable situation to be. Expected a continuation of a squeeze one way or the other. I did had most of the time the opportunity for both directions to follow through, but they just decided to fully reverse on this meaningful levels, and that's obviously the other scenario which is gonna bring you costs. Let's find out on this 5-minute candle. Is chopping gonna continue? If I would had only a single contract here and without a loss today, I would simply grab another DCE here. This is an interesting spot to entry, but this way, no. This way, definitely not. This way definitely is not attractive. And it's simply too much of a cost. 250k account. This is a big account which has a $12,500 stop loss, max loss. But still, 2-3 days to recover with max profit is not a comfortable position to be in. Make sure to smash that like button if you enjoy our materials. Profits are not on the table today, not the best position out here, but we only trade during the live stream. We only trade during such conditions when there is, obviously, a different environment. There is no upstream type of trading because we don't need numbers added from the background. We only need full transparency. What's happening here? What you doing here? You want to break below? If you break below, I need to be out because I'm not willing to give out more. Time to play with some bears. Time to hit the bears. Time to squeeze the bears. Time to continue the pattern we had. Time to be profitable and play with some of the bears. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate. Not the best numbers for today. You know, I can play this tight, and I have to play this tight. I have to play this stop loss tight. That's it, guys. No other option. Definitely no other option. Even though things could easily come to that point and then reverse, but simply dollar-wise, it's enough, right? Even though it's a large account, it affords a lot. It's kind of sufficient. $10 points, 5 points, 3 points, and we are
Order
going to
filled.
be out. There you go. It has been out. It's also the max loss, $6,280 max loss, 244 balance. Max loss for the day. Terrible trading, terrible situations in the way this thing played out. Definitely a lot to learn from this one, guys. Hope you managed to extract the positive side. Hope you managed to extract the learning curve out of it. And of course, towards much better days starting by tomorrow. We are continuing. Our streaming is from Monday to Friday, and that's when we are doing it 30 minutes before the market opens every single time. For those of you that would like to jump on board and learn from good actions, wrong actions, for you guys that are not having finances involved into my trades, you have your finances involved into your trades. That's right. But into my trades, you don't have your finances involved. So the trades that I do are basically educational materials for the community. That's where we are for the moment. Few green days that have been turned around by what happened today. Thank you, fellas, for watching. Thank you, chat, guys. Thank you, chat, once again. Thank you, buddy. Looking forward tomorrow. A much better day, a much better time. And that's the way it is sometimes. Look at that. Today, the less likely, the unlikely scenario played out with no continuations. Just enjoyment. No squeezing so far. Might come in right now. But still, yeah. It's going to be much better, fellas. Thank you once again, folks, for watching. Take care. And enjoy your day. This is the most important thing. Enjoy your day, guys. Have a good time.